Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We've covered most of this week's books. Now it's time for the home stretch. This week's Batman books, as well as a few from last week too. And yes, I know we already did Gotham City Year One. I don't entirely consider that that's a Batman book when there's not a lot of Batman books, if you know what I mean. And in playing catch up, there were a lot. Anyway, let's get started. Kicking things off with Batman number 131. Where we left off, Failsafe had seemingly destroyed Batman. And then himself. Or itself. So the issue begins with Batman beaten and bloodied in an alleyway in Gotham. Two people looking at him. One taking his belt and saying that Batman looks like a venomed up freak. But Batman remembers facing off against Failsafe. Gets up and his guide is the walking mustache skeleton. You know, the walking, talking, pipe smoking mustache skeleton of Jim Gordon. But Batman's trying to get his bearings, getting a look at Gotham, and discovers Wayne Tower is something else. Elsewhere, a man shows up to deal with a couple criminals, rather expeditiously. But Bruce comes upon him and attacks him. While Bruce and the man fight, the man reveals himself to be none other than Harvey Dent. Judge Harvey Dent. More of a Judge Dredd type judge, but anyway, Firefly shows up and at just the right moment and helps Bruce escape. Bruce and Harvey continue their fight. Harvey takes a couple of daggers to the face. Bruce manages to escape the building with a young kid. And discovers he's been shot. The kid takes him to goes to take care of him. Elsewhere, Selina Kyle is dealing with a member of her organization who's been skimming, and she actually states that him skimming money off from her is expected. 5% losses are part of the picture. Her problem, however, is that he brags about it. As she's beating on him, she gets a call from someone called Red Mask. Tells her that she asks if it's about the Cobblepot heist, but Red Mask explains that this is something different, something new. Tells her to drop everything. And she handed a picture of Bruce Wayne and told that he's to be her top priority. When Red Mask hangs up, he states that he says to no one in particular that he's been waiting for Bruce. But Bruce takes care of his injuries, realizes that the people who save him are orphans like him. But apparently Bruce deduces that this is Failsafe's compassion, his gift. A Gotham without Batman. A Gotham to save. That's where our A story ends, which brings us to our B story, the Toy Box. Tim Drake and John Kent are going over the footage from what happened in the Arctic. John is blaming himself, but Tim's trying to snap him out of it. But while John accepts the idea that Batman's dead, Tim doesn't. And he heads out into the city, where a group of Joker thugs have begun acting on their own. No boss. Nightwing shows up, smacks him around a bit, and gets an assist from Tim. They talk, and Dick is, agrees. Yeah, Batman's not dead, but him and Tim have some different opinions on the overall matter. As the backup story ends, John explains that the gun that was used to seemingly to destroy Bruce was made by Toyman, and that but Toyman apparently killed himself, but he may have left some clues, and that is where the issue ends. I like that we've got that the backup story is intrinsically linked to the primary story as it is. That's a nice touch, I think. Moving on though to our next book, we've got Catwoman number 50, a holdover from last week. Where we left off, Selina learned that Punchline was using the Ace Chemicals plant in Alleytown as a base of operations to make her drug Exo, as seen in the miniseries Punchline, the Gotham game. And, well, Selina was planning to bring it down. And so her, Dario, Onyx, and Valmont are planning for the attack on everything. Apparently Ico is supposed to be helping, but Batman arrives. He can talk to Selina, as Batman just took Ico to the hospital. Apparently Ico had gone to the chemical plant, and while Batman stops Ico from killing Punchline, but Ico got stabbed, took a fall, and is in the hospital. So Batman's going to take Ico's place in the plan. And he knows who Valmont. He apparently knows of Valmont, and well, his intel's out of date. Valmont no longer works with the League of Assassins. Elsewhere, well, Punchline is running her whole operation about as one would expect. The lower numbered members of the Royal Flush Gang are filling envelopes with Exo, while the face cards are, well, doing what they want, doing their own thing. But when Selina's forces arrive, comms go down. Dario's trying to control them, but yeah, they're down. So he suits up to help out. A little bit of night camo, some tasers, calling himself Tomcat, and a mask. Tomcat and Cheshire Cat deal with some of Punchline's forces, while Punchline tries to draw out Catwoman by spraying Exo into the plant. Jack shows up, takes a shot at Catwoman, and causes an explosion. Punchline and Catwoman duke it out. Onyx deals with King and Queen, who attempt flirting with Ico, or with Onyx, just as much as they've been flirting with Punchline. Belmont discovers Amygdala, being kept prisoner by Punchline, and lets him out. But Catwoman manages to get Punchline trussed up when Amygdala shows up. And he's going for Catwoman, so Belmont shows up and kills Amygdala. Batman comes to try to stop him. The two of them duke it out. The building is there are some problems with the building, and so Batman prevents part of it from falling on Selina. And Catwoman sees Belmont coming for Batman and gets him with her claws. The next day, it turns out Catwoman's been arrested, but Commissioner Montoya gives a press conference. Dario goes to visit Ico in the hospital, and the two of them talk. Or, well, not the hospital, but where she's staying. And the two of them decide they're going to basically patrol Alleytown as Catwoman and Tomcat. Meanwhile, Gotham County Jail, Bruce Wayne pays a visit to Selina Kyle. He's doing what he can to make sure that that everything goes well for her, even with the fact she'll be pleading guilty. But yeah, and they had some of the discussions they probably needed to have for a while, but afterwards, Selina is released into the common area of Gotham County Jail, and well, fresh fish. So she beats everyone's ass and gets tossed in solitary for 3 days. However, somehow, Duchess has been snuck into the solitary cell. And the issue ends with Catwoman remarking about how she misses Belmont quite a bit, and Duchess must miss him too. And the two of them curling up in the bed together in the solitary cell. Duchess and Catwoman, that is. And that is where our issue ends. Wow. Okay. This arc definitely took a turn. Did not expect Catwoman to have been in jail. I'm reminded in some points of the Harley Quinn arc with, I believe it was Verdict, when Harley got tossed I think she was tossed in the Blackgate? But she had to be broken out by Batwoman. Anyway, speaking of Harley Quinn, and moving on to our next book, we've got Harley Quinn number 25. Also a holdover from last week. Where we left off, Harley's murderer was revealed to be the Harley who laughs. While they haven't said she's from the Dark Multiverse, it's basically Dark Multiverse Harley. But we open with old woman Harley being attacked by the Harley who laughs. and operating her and activating her multiversal teleporter thingamajig and ending up on Earth Zero. But Harley comes face to face with her would-be killer, only to be saved by the old woman Harley. But old woman Harley and modern Harley do a bit of bonding and a bit of planning, with old woman Harley explaining about the teleporter on the Harley Who Laughs wrist. But the two of them concoct a plan, and they spring the trap, and they, with a little help from Killer Frost, they turn a Gotham warehouse, into a giant ice skating rink. And while they manage to get the teleporter doohickey off of Harley Who Laughs, well, it ends up getting destroyed when Harley smacks it with a bat. Not destroyed, but at least damaged, and a whole bunch of portals suddenly open up, and Harleys from throughout the multiverse show up, which, generally speaking, seems to mainly just be past versions of Harley. We also have a Harley Might and a Fish Harley. But that is where the issue ends. Into the Harleyverse, anyone? Honestly, I wouldn't mind a one-shot with, the various versions of Harley. Info on the various versions of her. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Nightwing number 99, which is, of course, a holdover from last week, because, yeah. So, where we left off, it's, all of Blockbuster's files had been hacked and released, detailing just how deep the corruption was in Bloodhaven. So the issue begins with a senator being having just been arrested and tossed in. Numerous arrests are occurring, and the mayor is paid a visit by her father, Tony Zuko. Tony Zuko being the man who, killed Dick Grayson's parents. But Melinda informs her half-brother, Nightwing, about this. Apparently, Tony's in town for a jewel heist. Nightwing tracks him down to a shipwreck, an old whaling shipwreck. Within is the Hold. Well, the Hold is kind of an underworld bank. But he demands a box be opened, but he doesn't have a box there. Within the box he's demanding is the Eye of Kandak. But the quartermaster explains that, at the Hold they know Zuko's name and face. Nightwing shows up, has to deal with Zuko's bodyguards, the Trigger Twins, as well as Zuko. And he manages to track Zuko down and he stopped him delivering a probably very vicious beating by the security forces of the hold. So they will deal with the thief. But Quartermaster explains that Nightwing has a box number 538, where he has a safe within the hold. Someone established it for him. And Zuko is turned over to Nightwing and later arrested. The next day, at Bloodhaven Private Prison, the mayor shows up, Melinda, and explains that, and tells Zuko the truth. She's not his daughter. She's in fact John Grayson's daughter. And she's, just before she came to see Zuko, she changed her name. She's now Mayor Melinda Grayson Lynn. Dick and Melinda talk about everything and, their plans to further save the city. However, Zuko, KG Beast, and Heartless all appear to be making plans or being recruited by others with plans. And that is where the issue ends. And yes, next issue will be issue 100. Big, huge deal for Nightwing, obviously. And I'm like, this has been a great Nightwing run. I don't remember the last time a Nightwing run this good. So, yeah. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Poison Ivy, number 8. Where we left off, Ivy going after a company that was fracking. They were doing some fracking, and the chemicals they were using were affecting local wildlife and population. Well, the CEO, turns out, is a former student of Jason Woodward's as well. And basically hit Ivy with a chemical that made it so she couldn't control Lania spores anymore. But Ivy is discovered by Janet from HR, and apparently they ran into each other back in the Gotham City Villains Anniversary Special. Ivy blew up a chemical plant that Janet worked at. But Ivy manages to convince Janet to help her. And she manages to find an antidote within the lab, one of the labs. But basically also runs into her boss, and pretty sure that she's getting fired. But Ivy regains control of the Lania spores and tracks down her the CEO. She's making a promise not to kill the CEO, and she doesn't. Just kind of bonds with the plant, saying that the plant will probably outlive all of them. But Janet, she's got a growth on her liver, and she kind of needed the health care from the job that she was working to get surgery, because that's a surgery that costs quite a bit. But Ivy, she explains that she knows really good surgeons, so she'll get Janet taken care of. In Seattle, Ivy waited for Janet to be done with surgery, and Janet would like her to stick around for a while, just to be there for her. And Ivy agrees to. And that is where the issue ends. This has been a really good book. I kind of like the I like seeing someone actually. I like DC actually giving someone a chance to write Ivy as, you know, not an entirely, not a true villain. I kind of like her, like this version of her. Anyway, moving on to our last book for the week, we've got Sword of Azrael #6, wrapping up the miniseries. So, where we left off, Sariel was activating the Angel box, the Angel Maker box, which appears to be a modified Mother box. But Azrael had encountered Father Valley and made him into an ally. So Sariel is getting ready to perform her miracle, waking the angels. Azrael shows up, however, already hearing the ping of the Angel Maker box. Father Valley opts to deal with Vengeance, while Azrael goes to deal with Sariel. They argue. They fight. And eventually, the Angel Maker box is destroyed. Vengeance is heartbroken as she was promised a miracle. But she learns that Azrael went from has since become an angel of mercy. An angel has changed its ways. And as far as vengeance is concerned, that in and of itself is a miracle. And Father Valley and Vengeance carry Azrael out of the Templar's building as it burns. And that is where the series ends. I got to say, it's interesting to see Vengeance as an ally to Azrael, given the history between Azrael and her father, Bane. But otherwise, it was a good series. I liked it. I really did. I guess I still am kind of a sucker for Azrael. One of the first comics I ever owned, I remember buying as a kid was Batman 500, where Azrael debuted his first personally designed batsuit, his first Azrael Batman armor. But anyway, that's going to do it for this week. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.